What's up, everyone? It's PhoenixTale's here, bringing you guys something a little bit different. I'm doing a movie review today, specifically for Black Panther. I wanted to do this because one, I had to see it on opening weekend, and two, I have some thoughts about it. Some of them are unpopular, and I know that a lot of people love the film. Well, I didn't necessarily love it. I thought it was good, but not the best, and not what everyone else is saying. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about what I thought about the movie. And don't worry, because there will be no spoilers in this review. I'm going to keep it spoiler free, so you can listen to my thoughts, and then you can go see it on your own and think about whether you agree or disagree with my opinion. And do know this is my opinion. It doesn't mean it's actually so. It's not necessarily what you will think, but it's my general thoughts. A lot of people are saying, so let's get into it. A lot of people are saying that this is one of the best comic book movies in the MCU and the DCEU. Like, as in better than Wonder Woman and Thor and Spider-Man Homecoming and all of that. It's better. That's what a lot of people think. I do not share that same opinion at all. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. I'm saying that it did not live up to its hype. That's what I'll say. It did not live up to its hype. It was built up to be this epic thing. And there's lots of action and lots of just. It was supposed to be a spectacular film. And it was a good film, but not what I was expecting at all. I think that the hype made it out to be something bigger than it really was. And this is where, see, it's not that it was a bad film. It was not a bad film at all. It was a great film. But it was targeted for a kind of a different audience than an average comic book moviegoer. It was advertised as a comic book movie. It's based on a comic book, right? A lot of them have like a lot of action, they have a big story, but a lot of action. It ties into the Marvel. Whoa. A lot of action, based an average comic book movie, but it didn't translate that way over the big screen. In fact, it lacked a ton of action. In fact, there was little to no action for 2/3 of the movie. I kid you not. For 2/3 of the movie, there was little to no action. I honestly didn't even know there was going to be a villain. Like, I was concerned because we get to like halfway through the film and there's no villain. There doesn't really seem to be much of a plot in general. And it wasn't until the last half, the last act, the third act, wasn't until the third act where we actually saw the villain, if you can call him a villain. Now, this movie is to introduce the character, Black Panther. It's made to introduce the story and tell us, okay, well, who is he? And generally speaking, there doesn't necessarily have to be a big villain, but it's kind of expected if you're doing a comic book movie. Like, taking Wonder Woman, for example. Wonder Woman had Ares as the main villain. Dark Knight had Joker as the main villain, and Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins, and Bane in the third movie. all main villains and still had a general plot line. Iron Man had, what's his name? I forget his name. But Iron Man still had a villain. Thor had Loki. Like, there is always a main villain in a comic book movie. There's always a hero, and there's always their, like, main villain. Or at least a villain. A quality villain. But Black Panther didn't really have one. I mean, yeah, he was... I can't say that. Okay. Sorry. I had to stop myself there. Okay. There's no real villain. Let's put it that way. There's no real villain in the movie. And it's kind of odd. Because in most superhero movies, in most comic book movies, there's a clear, undeniable villain. Joker, Ares, Darkseid, somebody, Lex Luthor. There's always somebody. But Black Panther didn't have anybody. Like, he barely had somebody. Like, the one that ended up being the villain didn't really come off as a villain, per se. Like, he didn't have that quality of a villain. And that, to me, made the movie kind of borderline boring. To me, this is where I'm going to describe it. It was like watching an Oscar-nominated movie. And that's not a compliment. It was like going to a blockbuster, right? Expecting a blockbuster. But instead you got an Oscar-like movie. And what do I mean by that? I mean, there's little to no action. There is a driving storyline, but not... there is a driving storyline, but it's very political. It's very, it's not that action-packed. Let's say it that way. And it has a clear message, and there's also diversity, so there's also that. Like, it's not really something you would expect from a comic book movie. And I'm really concerned, because this is supposed to be a great movie. And it kind of was, but I don't know how to say this. It just didn't deliver. Like, there was so much hype built behind this movie. There was so much hype. And maybe it's the hype to blame for this. Because there was so much excitement, and people were saying this is going to be the best movie ever, and blah, blah, blah. And, it's the movie right before. It's the only movie, I think, right? It's the only movie? It's the only movie right before Infinity War. Only Marvel movie right before Infinity War. And it's supposed to, like, hype up the Infinity War, have a little taste of it. Honestly, it could have been a standalone film. I mean, there was a little bit in the end credits. Tiny bit, but it wasn't really a connection. In fact, the first end credits was basically a political message to the audience. I mean, it's obviously... I can't really say a lot about it without spoiling. So... it's targeted to a certain, like, it's obviously the setting where the end credit takes place is completely it's obviously supposed to be political, and it's made to look like they're talking to the people in the film, but really it's obvious they're talking to us, the audience. And that, to me, makes it uncomfortable. Because here I am watching a comic movie, just trying to have some fun and, just do something, fun, something fun. And then I get a political message directed towards me. That's not something that I really expect from a comic book movie. And it's not something that you would find in Wonder Woman. It's not something that was done in any other movie except Black Panther. And I understand why they went the political direction, but this is a blockbuster. Or supposed to be, anyways. It's a blockbuster. It's supposed to be just fun. It's not supposed to be something like Moonlight or Get Out or whatever it's called. It's supposed to be a blockbuster. It's supposed to be just fun, and it really wasn't that way. It was more political. And I understand why it still has a great score. It has a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. I understand that. As a film critic, the movie's excellent. There's so much great. There's great cinematography. The acting is wonderful. The storyline is, for the most part, great. There's a lot of messages behind it, and I can understand why a film critic would enjoy it. But as an audience, as a just a viewer, as a person who's just there to enjoy the film and not really see anything but that, didn't really hit there. I can't really understand why people think it's so good, because it really isn't. It lacks so much, and it's a shame, really, because it's not that it's a bad film. It's just that it's not for the right audience. It's not... I don't know. It felt like something that CW would do. Let's put it that way. With Supergirl and Black Lightning. It felt something like that. It felt mainly like political. It felt more political than it did comic booky. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if it's clear what I'm trying to say, but that's how I'm going to try and say it. Overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10. And also, this is another thing. It was the first movie ever, and I'm telling you, I've watched Last Jedi, I've watched Justice League, I've watched BBS, I've watched a whole bunch of movies. I've watched Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, I've watched a lot of films. This is the first one ever to put me to sleep. It was so slow in the beginning that I would rather sleep than waste my time watching this. And then I woke up because it got kind of better at towards the end. Towards the middle to end, it gets a little better. But it's not... if you make me fall asleep in the beginning of the movie, that's terrible. Because I don't sleep during movies. I am not a person to sleep during movies. But it was so slow. It was agonizingly slow for a comic book movie. And, they're probably going to be like, well, why does everything have to be action-packed, blah, 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 blah. It's, it doesn't need action to be a good movie, and blah, 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 and whatever, and something, you don't know what you're talking about, it doesn't need action to be a good movie, and no, it doesn't. It doesn't need action to be a good movie. But it's a comic book movie. It's a superhero movie. It needs action to be a good superhero comic book movie. You need action to be a good comic book movie. It would be one thing if it was like a documentary or something like Moonlight or, something Oscar-y. But this is a blockbuster. It's supposed to have action. It's supposed to have fun in it. And it did have fun. There were some like meme references that made it kind of awkward to watch as well. Cause I don't know about you guys, but I don't like seeing memes in my movies. It's a little bit awkward when they do that. But like, and again, it's not a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie at all. So don't go hating me because I think that it's a bad movie. Because I don't. I think it's a good movie. It's just not the best movie that I've ever seen. And some people are saying that. Some people are saying it's better than Wonder Woman. No, it's not. It's not better than Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, you're welcome to your opinion. But it is not better than Wonder Woman. It is not. There is so much. Wonder Woman was so much better. And it just was. It was not better than Wonder Woman. I could say, you could argue that it was better than Justice League. You could argue that's probably better than Batman vs. Batman vs. Superman. You could probably argue that it was better than Spider-Man Homecoming or Thor or something. But you cannot argue that it was better than Wonder Woman. It's not. It's really not. It doesn't come close. It doesn't. It just... it just doesn't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about the movie in the comments down below. Do you agree with my opinion? Do you not agree with my opinion? Feel free to comment down below. And that's pretty much it. So, don't forget to like this video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. I do reactions. I do reviews, I guess now. I guess I do reviews now. I do other stuff. Subscribe to my content. Hit that notification bell. And let the flames behind. Right? You guys are amazing. Peace out. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys next time on the Flame TV. Peace out. And stay awesome, guys. It's been a blast. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. See you guys in the future. Peace out. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.